Don't really feel that alive today, but it could be worse. It could be better. It is life. Hello. Let me check something. That one looks good. This one looks pretty good. I'm very happy with how this is looking. All of those cursory remarks are pretty positive. I don't feel like anything's wrong, but I think that's the problem. My mind is set on impending doom and the storm that's coming, and I think it's going to be a whopper. And I am metaphorically speaking about plant problems that can rear their head in high growth seasons like spring, such as right now. And this year, I'm going to try something different. Preventative maintenance.
Having the fancy bottles almost makes maintenance fun. Almost.
And also set my future self up for easier success by trying to get into a routine and do easy stuff so that I don't have a catastrophe and I don't lose a whole bunch of plants or have to put a lot of stuff into quarantine and triage, and maybe, just maybe, enjoy the fruits of my aesthetic victory of all of these plants living happy, healthy, and in harmony. I'm Willie, by the way. Welcome back, or it's very nice to meet you if this is the first time that we've crossed paths. And before we get deep into the processes and procedures, I just want to say thanks for hanging out with me today. And if you're liking it so far, give it a like. If you want to continue our parasocial intimacy, you can hit that subscribe button. I need more friends. It's a win-win. And truly, I long to be part of your world. So let me just take a minute and wax poetic and philosophical and say that my attitude towards my plants, and it mirrors my life, was live fast and die young. But I've had to rethink that a little bit, because although I will continue to be jubilantly dead inside, I plan on living a very long time, and I want my plants to do the same. I also have some updates. A lot of stuff has been changing, a lot of stuff has been growing, and also a lot of the stuff that I did a long time ago has some results that are worth reporting on, which is, gosh, that's the closest thing to exciting that I can really say to this camera with an ironic and melancholic tone. Lots going on around here with the spring. We're gonna try and redo our backyard, and you'd think, since I kind of like plants, I don't know how much I like plant maintenance and kind of all of the kit and caboodle to keep it going, although maybe this year I'll turn over a new leaf, but I do enjoy the joys of living in a curated indoor jungle. But that does not extend to outside, like to my backyard, which is going to be interesting. Getting it all set up, figuring it out, what we're going to do, what we're going to plant, and who knows, maybe I'll become some version of like a landscaping, outdoor gardening. It's never too late. Here's a plant that is growing inside, and it is this Neon Pothos. This has been featured in quite a few of my videos. I've had it a long time now, and it was one of those plants that I got that were supposed to be really easy, and at a time this occupied great mental bandwidth and space in my mind as being one of my favorite plants, because the neon green, almost like a pixelated ombre of tones in the emerald family. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of leaf porn here, and this one is just looking spectacular. It's super full on the top, nice long vines, very healthy leaves. It took a really long time to get established like this, which is why I'm excited to talk about it, because this plant just really struggled. To the best of my knowledge, though I'm not sure, I think it was a Costa Farms hanging basket. Purchased it for $20, I think 2 years ago. And it was already filling an emotional void because I had lost a Neon Pothos. That one was very heritage because I had made it from a whole bunch of little cuttings, and then I kept cutting the vines and then adding them to the pot to create like an aesthetic fantasy of equity and hard work. And when it died, it really stung. So when I got this one, it was kind of like, well, let's just fast track that to the aesthetic glamour of a large and kind of adult indoor plant. Hope is dangerous, because very quickly after I got it home, it started failing, and then I found out that the propagations that were in the hanging basket were very new souls to this world with very small roots, and it was overpotted, and like a ton of it died, and at one point had these little black spots on it that I think were some sort of a fungus, but that's all in the periphery and I think behind me. And now I just love this plant. I think it's so pretty, I think it's so fun, and it's doing really, really well, even with limited light on my plant shelves. This is the power of sticking, or maybe the power of inactivity. It's forgiving. That's the sweet. And now the curated, but sort of bitter, right? These are my plant sprays. One is a organic fungicide and one is an organic insecticide. And these are both by Arbor. I'm excited to try these. Shake them up. They've been on my short list for a while. I think it's kind of a gentler approach than, you know, nuking them. So we're gonna try this Arbor insect and disease and insect control plant care starter set. Hopefully keep fungus gnats and any other wayward travelers away from my plants. And then it's also going to help with some fungal issues like what happened with the rust fungus on my Thai Constellation. It still bears the scars to this day. So maybe I can avoid those problems. These are supposed to be easy. They're well reviewed. They seem semi-natural. They're organic. And I bought these fancy spray bottles specifically for these Arbor products. This is a 16-ounce spray bottle. So it's 1 ounce to 1 gallon of water. So this would be 1/8 of that. So it is so it's 1/8 of an ounce. So that would be 1/2 of a cap. I have always found that it's better to add to the water as opposed to adding water to the concentrated liquid because it can foam up. So first we're gonna go with the bio insecticide here, if I can get this off. This is not one to use your teeth to open one of these caps, I would say, for insecticide. So I am a living organism myself, but I don't really feel that alive today. But it could be worse, it could be better. It is life. But I do wish that this was easier to freaking open. So we're gonna get this blade here and try and do it this way. It doesn't smell that bad. There we go. It probably says to shake it, I don't know. And how do I use this beast? Okay. For insect control, the concentrate insecticides with water as a foliar spray. Test this on the leaves, check back, because that's for the insecticide. Make sure this one's foliar as well, or I'm screwed for buying that fancy spray bottle. Yes, by the plants and the leaves to ensure complete coverage. That's for the biofungicide. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. These are cute. They're easy to mix. I don't usually have great luck with insecticidal soaps, and I don't know why, but I would guess the problem is me, and I probably don't follow up enough, or there's a million factors, and there's a million reasons to not do things. But I don't want to repeat the same pattern of doing something that doesn't work for me and my lifestyle, so we're trying Arbor this year in these really cute glass spray bottles that I got on Amazon. I'm anxious to try these. We're going to see how it goes. Because as of right now, we don't have any fungus gnats. We don't have any pests that I can identify by looking globally at these plants. So it's like a good time to start a preventative or something that is a little bit softer. So I'm going to try and rotate these in and spray the soil and the leaves a couple times a month, see how it goes. Be myself with the jet skis, whatever. I'll report back. I'm already setting up best practices. Can you believe it? I'm gonna take this, spray it, see how it affects the leaves. Snarf. First we have the Syngonium albo, the Houseplant Pothos, and the Anthurium veitchii. I can't believe I'm doing this on camera. That is too much. I'm cutting that out. And it's too soon, but it wouldn't be the internet if I wasn't telling you about things in a weird, like tutorial kind of way that I haven't tried or have any kind of metrics to see if it's working or it's not. So needless to say, let's see how it goes on my plants, unless you're already going wild and trying new stuff, because I wouldn't want to tell you something that sucks. And these, to the best of my knowledge, are going to be great, but we just don't know. That's fun. This is very exciting to me and feels like incredible because I think I've kind of cracked a code. These are alocasia frydeccorms, and they're in perlite wrapped with a canopy of saran wrap. Within the perlite, they're making really healthy, great looking roots. They're starting to have the telltale signs of a leaf emerging from the top of the corm. I can't believe I'm actually winning at life, aka having my alocasia corm sprout and not rotting away. I have tried this a lot of times. Like, my history with the alocasia fryedex specifically is very long. At this point, it seems like it's kind of been the bane of my existence and an open and very painful festering wound. So the fact that these are working, it just feels really, really good. So I'll keep telling you about that. I would hope within a month or two I'll be able to transplant these into something. And this is a very large alocasia bulb that all of those corms were connected to, and it has a growth point at the top as well. So that's double fisting the success. And this plant was pretty cool because I got it at a plant shop that I visited in Seattle called Peace, Love, and Happiness. I window shopped online, but I had never been to the physical location, and it didn't disappoint. Like 2 hours before I was supposed to fly out, I didn't want to carry a plant through TSA, so I just cut it off. Like, I cut everything off and pulled all the corms out, put it in a Ziploc bag, and took it home. This is where we're at. But I'm still, in the race. Still going forward. It could work. It could work really good. You wouldn't be talking about maintenance and the paradigm of future self without mentioning fertilizing. My nose itches, so someone's talking about me, or thinking about me, or something mystical. I am still fertilizing exclusively with the Pretty and Green Leaf Lux. I've had very good luck with this. It has been very gentle on my plants. I've had no burning, yellowing, browning out. I have my ratio set up for my watering can. I just add a little bit and go through, water stuff. It goes great. I just watered yesterday. Everything got fertilizer. A couple things got trimmed down too, making some cuttings to make things feel more substantial, because some of the pots, a few of the propagations have died in the pots over the winter. One of note is this, I think it's the lemon lime or the neon philodendron. I can't remember what people call this plant in a colloquial way. So cut off some substantial vines to then root and then put back in the pot, which is right here. I'm recollecting, do you ever do that where you think back, like, I don't know what led me to really want that plant, but at one point that was really on my wish list. I've been talking about this one a lot recently. The philodendron Lynette is just the best. I love these long, almost strap-like leaves. They are a little bit more erect than, say, a Anthurium Wendellgeri. And it doesn't look like anything else, at least not in my plant collection. It is the Wild Interiors Growers Bench super upgrade from the one that I had to pitch because it was infested with spider mites that I swear were from another planet that I could not get rid of. And this plant is kind of about hope and really feeling yourself and feeling good about things. So I just love it. Another fun fact about this plant, which also is a characteristic of the Philodendron biliatai, is that it does its fair share of extrafloral nectaring. Hopefully this will show up on camera, but especially on that big leaf, it's got like these little sugar drops. For an indoor plant, I think that's interesting. Kind of reminds me of like myself and my lizard brain, because this plant indoors doesn't really need the extrafloral nectar. It's harkening back to the past when it was using that for its own survival. Another thing that I'm going to try this year to try and get especially my anthuriums and my alocasias to live their best life is putting this in to the soil. Again, we're back to the same amazing paradigm, which is we're going to go on this journey together. I am not really sure what this is going to do. I know it helps with nutrient absorption, creating the roots to make those little tiny filaments. It's basically like a positive version of The Last of Us that happens in the pots. And I hope it doesn't go like that show, because to quote Tori Amos and Amber Waves, there's not a lot left of me anymore. So if I lose more of it with the fungal additive.
Howdy. Okay, I swear I'm going to learn how to pronounce this by the next video. The option that I am going to do for this Thai Constellation is a root drench. I'm going a little bit cautious because suddenly I feel like this plant is looking better. It's got a new growth coming out here. That sounded bad. It's got a new leaf emerging in the back, and there's 2 plants in this pot. There's another one coming. So I'm getting anxiety thinking I'll ruin it by trying to make it better. So I'm just gonna go cautious and mix up the fertilizer a little lighter. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And I already sprayed it, but it's dry because this is a video, and that's movie magic. So I'm gonna do half a teaspoon of this tepid water. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of regular water first. Well, actually like a full water. This is actually a little dry. Bottoms up. Now I'm gonna get this to the sink so it doesn't get weird stuff over my counter. Oh dear. Oh dear, I didn't think this through. I did it. Now we wait. What should I do now? What am I supposed to do now? It's gonna take a long time to see if that does anything.
This is the Shangri-La, the yellow variegated Shangri-La. It's doing really, really good. It has some new growth, which is promising. And also, what's there is staying crinkly. It's staying very crinkly. And I like it to stay crinkly because that's what makes it a unique and aesthetic houseplant. It does still seem to be quite a rarity. I haven't seen any out and about. And I was out plant shopping a couple of days ago. How much do you value your time? In my mind, I think I value my time a lot, but I will go searching for plants for literally like a whole day when I could have just spent $5 more and got them shipped to me. But the thrill is in the chase, you know, it's the hunt. So speaking of plant shopping, man, it's a good year. Been seeing so much good stuff out and about. Yesterday, in preparation for doing the backyard, we went and looked at a couple of nurseries, including my favorite locally, which is Greenscapes Gardens, and we also hit some Lowe's. All right, so I'm at Lowe's. Thai Constellation jackpot here. Oh my God, these are so nice. They're labeled at $59.99. These are really big pots. These are so healthy. Wow. Man, the stuff was just great. I saw a Alocasia Adorabatique, or Batic, I don't know how you say it, for $29 at the Home Depot. Almost bought it. Also saw Alocasia Blizzards at Greenscapes. Kind of the same thing, but I know they're different, so it seems to be highly debated. It's kind of like the Snow Queen Pothos debate. But I didn't buy either of them. But what I did see at Greenscapes for the first time in the wild of the urban jungle, Spiritus Sancti Philodendron. And I took a little bit of footage of that because it was so exciting. And they were only $49. And I really, really wish that I wouldn't have bought one this Christmas, so I could have justified buying a lot nicer one that seemed established with good roots at Greenscapes. But that's leading me to my next thing. This is it. This is the thing I'm the most excited to show you ever. These right here are living, theoretically thriving Philodendron Spiritus Sanctis from the plant that I got on Black Friday. But this is the newest leaf here on this one. It is still very tiny. This is like a 2-inch pot or 3-inch pot. But I transitioned it out of water. I may have mentioned that in a video before. I've been kind of reluctant to talk about it, and the new leaf looks great. That's this one. This is the latest leaf on that one, and there is a new one coming out of that stem right there. Cool stuff. Very, very excited about these. I've had very good luck with the transition from water to soil. And I think it was because I put a lot of sphagnum moss into my chunky aroid mix, which has kind of kept it a little bit more humidity rich, I think, for the new roots. I'm bold enough to smell it. Nothing weird's going on there. There's no bacteria in there, and it's just kind of winning at life. So I can't believe it. Truly, I thought that those were worth just throwing out. It felt like a fool's errand to even try and propagate them. But turns out that wasn't true. Practical optimism and active healing. It works for plants as well. So this is my Syngonium albo. It's had a rough pre-spring. It had some sort of vermin and I had to treat it. Learned my lesson last year. If anything shows up with mealybugs or spider mites, they get one chance to be nuked and then they're going to the compost bin in the sky. And I gotta be harsh because if not, you know, the mental health will not hold out for these plants. This one was a success because I keep checking it all the time and it looks super good. We got new growth. We got new growth in the pot. I have to say that this doesn't seem that big, but then I was reviewing footage from Vlogmas 2 years ago, and man, this has really come a long way. That is my pest-free Syngonium albo. It does just look so pretty. In my opinion, that's one of the best leaves. So for today, a gold star and a crimson check mark on that. I'm also excited to show this again, and it is definitely not the last time. I'll be showing it a lot if it keeps living, but this is my Anthurium Michelle. This plant's just making me so happy. It looks so pretty. It's still holding in there and seeming so healthy. We got a new leaf emerging down there on the bigger of the two plants in the pot, and I'm gonna get this into new soil. I'm going to be using Frog Farm's Living Ocean mixed with equal parts orchid mix that I got that is large perlite and activated charcoal chunks. I think that'll give a good amount of texture, aerated. And also that Living Ocean is supposed to have great natural fertilizer. It has fish emulsion and bat guano already mixed in. So that'll be good. And then I'm going to put in the mushroom powder that I can't pronounce. Hopefully I don't kill it. So wish me luck. My goal is simple. I want all these plants to stay healthy so that I can enjoy them and then recline in a very Rose and Titanic, paint me like one of your French girls way, and then arise refreshed and revitalized, and also in an ego-driven way be able to tell myself, you're doing okay this year.
Things are living.
It's going well. That shouldn't be that hard, right? Well, I guess we're gonna see. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I could feel your presence and it's giving me the strength to chip the ice off my heart and keep going for another day. And that was a joke, but it was coded because outwardly happy people, I find them suspect. So maybe I shouldn't leave that in. Okay, that's all I got. Bye.